All right, good morning, Facebook family. I am so excited to bring to you what I'm going to bring today. This is one of the ways that I just really want to give back. This particular guest has given so much to me in terms of advice and guidance and friendship. And I just feel, extremely honored to have her on my page today. I don't think that there's a better person that could deliver this message or this value in my circle at this moment. I have a lot of respect for what she does and what she does out in the community. But I'm going to go ahead and invite her on without further ado, just get things started. And I've got some questions, and as well, audience, feel free to put any questions in that you may have for her. We're more than happy to address those as well. So let me go ahead and add her. Yep, I'm gonna add on the ready.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good. What an introduction. Can we start off with that?
I have an extreme love for people. And can you guys just know if let us know if the sound is good? I have an extreme love for people, girl, but what you do and what you go out there and you spread and help people build that confidence, like, that is unmatched, truly.
You are just pumping my heart right now. What can I just say one thing before we start? Brooklyn, I mean, this channel and like everything, I think it's definitely something that we both share when I say that it's definitely reciprocal, but also you just automatically know when you found someone that is going to join you in such a way and move the needle forward so beautifully, and you just want to constantly be in their space. Like, I constantly want to be in your space, and I know you feel the same about me. So I think it's such a joy to find other people like that, and we have the technology to find other people like that, and it alleviates everything. It allows things to be so much easier and so much more full of life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't say it better myself, honestly. When in a space where we get to choose our energy, being able to connect with people like yourself and others, some of the people on this live right now, Sierra, James, Paige, all these incredible people. And hey, Paige, and we're just here to be able to share that value and really give back, because these are things, whether you're in network marketing, whether you're a traditional business, whether you're a coach, whether you're an affiliate marketer, it doesn't really matter. If you're out there searching for more, I guarantee that a lot of these people have gone through things that we're about to talk about today. And I myself have gone through them. And so this is one of the ways that, we truly do want to give back to the circle that just constantly continues to fuel our fire and our resilience, right? So I'm very, very excited. I just want to start off because, not everybody knows, obviously, anyone's story, but I think that a story is a really powerful way to not only show who you are and where your heart comes from, but it also shows where you're going. So would you be willing to just talk about your story a little bit?
I would love to. So I'm an anxiety strategist now, and I've had anxiety for a really long time, but what set me off on having probably the most troublesome anxiety of my whole life is my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, December 24th, 2016. So it was the day before Christmas. You already have that hustle and bustle of Christmas. And then on top of that, me being like an only child, my mom and I were like Gilmore Girls, like always coming together, hugs, kisses, like the full works. We were those annoying like mom and daughter duo. And when my mom got sick and then died 81 days after her diagnosis, there was such a huge loss and trigger for me that I took so much filled anxiety only because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I didn't know how to, A, love myself, and B, find security within myself, which also promoted anxiety. So that's a little bit of how I was like, oh my gosh, something needs to happen from here. I cannot live a life and not have myself fulfilled because of her loss. I need to go on. So I started a personal growth journey, and I really realized that I was very much dependent on my mom, a little bit too much, but it's hard not to be. Like, your mom always fixes everything, right? Like, your mom is there, like, whether you need something sewn into a dress or like you just need some advice, like, I would always go to my mom. I would speak to my mom 6 times a day. Maybe some of your audience feels the same way, but my mom was everything. And then when I lost that, I didn't know what to do with myself. And so every day looking in the mirror and not really recognizing who I was very troublesome, very troublesome. And so I was like, this needs to change. Something needs to be altered. I need to find a mentor, and I did, and then get my own track on order. I need to do the work for myself. And then I realized other people were needing that little extra oomph, which I got from my mentor. So I was able to kind of trickle it down, if you will.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's so powerful. And I'm really grateful for you to even share that story. It's so deep, you know, and very personal. And so I think sometimes people need to hear that realness of sometimes it is a very deep struggle and a very deep pain that fuels us to do the things we do. And sometimes the most beautiful impacts come from the darkest of feelings, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, obviously you did a lot of self-searching yourself.
Yeah.
You worked and you did a lot of self-research, and you connected with some of these, you know, like you said, you got a mentor. And where would you suggest that someone start if they're just so stuck in a place of anxiety and self-loathing and loneliness that they could really, you know, change that story for them, change that narrative?
It's hard to come from that place and then to be happy really quick. But the first thing you can do is start to be curious. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I placing myself in a victim role? Why are things not manifesting for me? Why am I upset? And I'm forgetting his name. There's like a famous like guru who said, if you're alone by yourself and you're upset, you're in bad company. And I took that to heart. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm alone with myself right now and I'm hating life. I must be in really bad company. It's so funny how our thoughts dictate every little thing in our life. And that's exactly what you show your audience when, you know, you do those workout posts. It's like, wow, because of this, now I have the energy to do this, or now I want to eat healthier, or now I have a new idea of inspiration. And that's kind of how I started. Okay, I'm curious to why I'm feeling like this. Why was I so dependent on my mom? And through that curiosity, I was able to find more answers than I was problems. And I started to look at my situation as more of a game rather than like a compromise. I was like, okay, well, I feel this way when I'm at a certain point, maybe even a physical place or somewhere in my life, somewhere in my day, I feel this particular thing. Why is that? Why am I feeling stressed every time I go and maybe walk through the doors of my work? I feel so much stress and so much negativity when I'm talking to this individual or when I'm on this topic of conversation. And so being curious allows you to take yourself out of the situation and look at it from a different view and a different perspective, helping you kind of to navigate your thoughts and going, I don't like this. This is what I'm not going to do. I'm actually going to take this step instead.
Yeah. I love that. I love the idea of, you know, curiosity breeds, it's almost like a playfulness with the space and energies, and allowing yourself to be open, and that means sometimes letting go of things to make space to receive. I think that you know, that's something that I struggled with a lot in the past, is I had to let go of certain things in order to bring new things into my life. And even still, I know that that's not going to, you know, go away on this journey. And so I wonder, how can we apply that to, in the case of business, in the case of business, I see, let's just take, for example, like a single struggling mom, or even just a mom who, she's a stay-at-home mom. She's got all this going on. She's got anxiety because, she wants to be home with her kids, or just, I think in general, just anything that you want and you're on the other side of it in business. How do you get to that place of abundance where you can kind of dial back and be like, I am okay being here right now, even though this is painful, and I've almost got to go through more struggle in order to get out of the struggle I'm in now. How would you help, someone go through that? How would you help someone start that process, or what would you tell them?
It's staying in presence. And I know a lot of people say that time and time again, and it does get kind of annoying, but it's really the idea of taking every second and going, okay, I'm actually okay. Like, wow, I have a beautiful home. I'm with my kids right now. I'm going to spend 100% of my mental energy with my kids. I'm not going to think about that email. I'm not going to think about that conversation that happened earlier today. I'm not going to think about that. That's for tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's not for right here, right now. I'm actually going to pay attention to my beautiful child's smile. I'm going to pay attention to the way my child laughs. I'm going to pay attention to those little details that you have so much gratitude for. And then on the flip side of that, when you are at work, you're not going to pay attention to, wow, I'm missing time with my kid. I'm missing so much, I'm wasting my time here and not with my kid. Of course, like, if you're not happy with the situation, definitely try to get out of it. But financially, to be stable and happy, or as happy as you can, really, you want to definitely take the steps slowly, because of course, nothing happens just like that. We know that, there's no such quick to success. It happens over a gradual change. So it's staying within the presence. Okay, I'm here with my kid. And then when you're at work, you're not missing out. You're not thinking, oh, I have to, I'm missing out on my kid. How dare my employer not allow me to work from home? How dare, then that's going to that victimized stage. Right. And so you're missing out on your own creativity when you're down that path. So instead of, and
I don't mean to interrupt, but it speaks so clearly to me, because I was talking about this with somebody yesterday about how any kind of negativity is going to breed negativity. So even if your intentions are so inherent, like, I remember being somebody who I was working, crazy hours, but every moment that I spent feeling, and this is actually something that you and I talked about a long time ago, whether I internalized it this way or not, but every moment that I spent feeling negative there actually took from me tenfold. It was about trying to draw the things out of that I could, so that it really was a temporary situation, and I didn't hold myself down to the point where, I ended up just stealing from myself constantly with negativity, because this is, again, another thing we talked about, and I just really appreciate you for always, I think, saying it real, and it's not always necessarily the answer that someone wants to hear, but you told me, you're like, negativity breeds negativity. So if you feel negative at your job, you'll bring negativity home, and whether you know it or not, subconsciously you give off that negative energy. You'll create negativity in your business, and then before you know it, that negativity breeds into something that's uncontrollable. Now everyone's negative, and I think part of what anxiety is to me is negativity. It's the space in your head that you can't get out. It's like a trap.
You're giving too much of yourself. You're not commanding that respect for yourself. If you're anxious, you no longer belong to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, if you're anxious, you no longer belong to yourself. And it's because you said yes when you really wanted to say no. And of course, things, at work, I don't want to go. But it's just even the little things. Oh, I have to go to this person's bridal shower because I know that they're part of my family, or they're part of my friend group, and I have to go. I have to go to this birthday party, and I don't want to go. why do you actually have to go? Is it because you're people pleasing and you know you have to be there because you have to be there? Where are you pleasing yourself in that situation, in that scenario? And really deeply feeling that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just put headphones in because hopefully that helps. But I think that you're so right. It's about understanding, you know, where you allocate your energy. People always say where energy, or whatever, where focus goes, energy flows. I can speak. And I think that it's just, you know, anxiety is something that we move through, and I think there is some level of disposition to it based on, you know, imbalance in the hormones and everything like that. Like, obviously our bodies were not designed to go through that emotion. We were not designed to feel that way, you know. Whatever you believe in, whatever put us on this earth, we weren't designed to feel that kind of pain, that kind of like emotional prison. But through the evolution of, you know, society, and through the things that we come into contact with and are exposed to, it happens. And so, you know, how do we as people who want, because I always say, like, one thing that really matters to me is, like, I don't want to fit into a world I want to change, right? And I'm not saying that the world is so far past that I want to completely eradicate everything and start over, but I want to innovate it. I want to make it better. I want to raise, you know, certain professions, and I want to build people up. And so how do you like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, being that so much of that is a business minded, it's an entrepreneur, right? And obviously, I mean, within your own endeavors, you have to charge for your services, right? And when you know, in network marketing, as a lot of my audience on here is network marketing, a lot of people have this hesitant feeling about receiving money for doing something that is inherently good. You know, most people won't waste time on something they believe is a waste of time. You know, whether you're playing video games or you're going to the gym, like, it's because you believe it's valuable somewhere, you know, even subconsciously. So when someone brings something to you, it is inherently a good action. Yet we have this boundary, this anxiety about asking for money in return of the exchange. Even if that's not something we say vocally, but we say, you know, here's my link, or you can grab a spot in my schedule, or whatever it is. How can we help some of the people on here? How can we, like, what kind of value can we give to help someone move through that process?
And that energy is just going to mess you up, because if you're not confident in going, here's my link, like, it's normal to receive, there's a mix match. There's such a mixed match of energy. So what is money to you is really the real question. Is it bad? If you're feeling that you cannot receive it, there's a worthiness inside. And yes, you're right, that does cause that sense of anxiety. But where does that unworthiness of money come from is the real question. And usually those type of thoughts or those type of hindrances usually come before the age of 7 or 8, where mom and dad didn't have enough money, or mom and dad had these opinions about money. And what you want to do is soften that relationship with money. I do this with my clients, is that we write a note to money. We write a little letter to money speaking about, oh, hey, money, like whatever happened in the past, like, is the past, and I want to start fresh with you. I want to actually have this delicious relationship where we can work together for the benefit of the world. And this is going to be really fun, money, because you know what we're going to do is we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't actually need you, but I'm going to be attracted to you and magnetized to you because we're doing such great work. We're doing such great work. Because it's really not about the money at the end of the day, right? It's about that vacation that you want to take. It's about the experiences. So if you change the conversation from, I don't have enough money, change it to, what experiences do I want to experience? What do I really want to take in and just gravitate to myself and have that juicy nature and just like dive into with like all my heart? Almost have it like money is a friend, right? And you're writing that relationship to your friend. So I encourage your viewers to do it. I've done it for myself, and I keep doing it probably every 6 months, every year, just to keep my relationship with money intact.
Yeah,
Keep
just
it
like you
receiving.
would stay in touch with a friend. Like, I
Yeah.
love that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like gravitating towards what you're saying. It's so juicy.
Yeah.
I love the way that your face lights up when you're talking about money, and it's because you have literally zero connotation in your head that it is a evil thing, or it is greedy to have money. You know, we talk about money. Money is it's just an open door. It's just a tangible symbol for an open door. It's open door to opportunity. It's open door to having, you know, peace of mind, whatever. I mean, I've been in lending for 7 years, and it's always been about taking your power back financially. And when you can take your power back financially, you can take your power back, you know, in so many aspects. So I love that you said that. That's so amazing. First of all, I mean, I just want to thank you for coming on here and being so honest and open with my audience. Are there 3 tips, tips that you could sort of leave us with for someone who, you know, is in business, feels stuck, feels anxiety, feels they're wasting their time, they're stuck in the rut? What 3 tips could you give to really kind of maybe like kickstart even just their thinking to getting in a better place mentally, so that they can really go out, crush it, do what they intended to do in the first place, and change some lives?
What is your perspective on whatever topic that's bothering you? And sometimes we need to back up and do a little bit of investigation. What is that particular perspective that you're like, nope, can't go there, wouldn't go there, and your ego's kind of like tightening up. Ego is anything that you hide, protect, defend, or justify. So any of those 4: hide, protect, defend, justify. But you still have that whispering voice inside saying, you know what? What if we did have this experience? What if we did do this? What if we did create that? So listening to that voice instead of the egoic voice. And the egoic voice does not want to die. It wants to stay alive because it's kept us alive physically. So knowing the difference between which voice you're listening to on a daily basis. Number 2 would be, do not victimize your circumstance. Everything has happened for a reason. And are you going to be a victim, or are you going to actually learn from your situation? Maybe it's a funny story later in life. Maybe it's not. But what are you doing right now that you're like, life isn't fair, this is happening, I have no control? You have absolute control. You have absolute control, even if it's just little things a day, absolute control of your own decisions of how you're living your life. Number 3, and kind of what we mentioned before, but I would like to put it into kind of a more visual for the audience. I'm very visual, is the idea of looking at things from a different perspective, kind of far ahead. So if you're doing a science experiment and you're combining 2 chemicals together and it combusts, you're looking at that and going, okay, it combusts. You don't take it personally. So start looking at your life and business like that. Okay, this happened here, and it combusted. It didn't really work out, but I guess we're going to try again. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Let's get this chemical and let's get this chemical. See what happens now. It's looking at it from a different angle, looking at it as if it's a story happening for you instead of to you. It's a story happening for you. You're just here to witness it. We're not here to get upset about every little thing. We're here to just witness life as we go around and witness the deliciousness and tap into that. So those are my 3 tips that I would love to share.
That's amazing. You've always blown me away with what you bring to the table. Like, I'm like, let's give value to the space. Like, let's give value to the industry.
Yes.
You're like, no, let's give like liquid gold.
Oh, thank
but
you.
so I appreciate you so much, you guys. And I've tagged Danielle in this video,
yes.
so you can feel free to go follow her. She does a lot in the community. She does a lot of public speaking. And so she's on Facebook. She has her mark on Facebook, but ultimately it's just a great way to connect with her. And if you have questions,
please.
feel free to reach out. She's absolutely incredible at what she does, as you can see.
Thank you.
And I just appreciate you so much. And you guys, if you feel you got value from this, or someone else needs to hear this, someone in your team is struggling with business or whatever it may be, share it with them, right? We're all about abundance here. We're all about love. And at the end of the day, giving value back to the profession that is making our lives different that's how we raise the profession. So thank you so much for coming on. You're just so amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. Such an honor.
All right, guys. Well, with that, I appreciate everyone who took the time today. And if you need a friend, please feel free to reach out and we'll chat soon.
Thank you.